I'm not saying necessarily that it's too late to, fix the country. It's never too late to do anything. What I'm saying is that it's probably too late to stop what's about to happen. Widespread violence and destruction.
Sure.
And if we don't do it,
it's already happening. There's already widespread panic and destruction.
54 days.
Happening right
Come
now.
on, man. We're talking about 34 hours of cannon fire. Now that's impressive, but it's still a day and a half.
Right.
How about 54 days? 54 nights, to be fair.
Right. It's the nights when they when they actually start rioting.
Of riots.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just call it a riot. Like, think about it historically. When they say for 54 nights, longer than that now, it's gonna go on for what, till November? Until Trump finally retreats and they take the federal building? Think about what history would say if Trump retreats. They would say, for 73 days, insurrectionists besieged a federal building until finally the federal authorities under President Trump retreated. They took the building and destroyed it, signaling the capture of federal jurisdiction.
Yep.
So here's what I think. The big fear is that as China seeks to displace us as the world superpower, a war will break out. If we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves, there won't be a war. Or maybe there still could be.
I'm sure that's what they hope for.
Yep. Silver spiked earlier today. It's really interesting. I don't know enough about the markets. It'd be interesting to talk to somebody about precious metals. But
Sure.
Gold's been going up.
Yep.
And that basically, as far as I know, is not a good sign for the dollar. Was it? Who was it recently who said?
Peter Schiff.
Peter Schiff said there's going to be like a dollar shortage or a crisis or something.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about it at the same time you were. You
Yeah.
were like, I think the dollar is going to crash. I think that's the end of the U.S. economy. And he was tweeting it as we were talking about it. I thought it was funny.
I think with these coin shortages, a lot of stores have stopped taking cash outright. It's getting really interesting. Really, really interesting. I hope you've all geared up and gotten ready for November. November 4th is going to be the most interesting day of our lives, I would imagine. Straight up. The clock is ticking.
Yep.
We're now, just a little bit over 3 months. A little bit over 3 months, about 3.5 months.
Yeah, they're firing all cylinders, man. Everything is happening right now.
I'm going to enjoy my last Halloween. It's going to be fun.
That's depressing, dude.
What?
You can be a little depressing sometimes.
The last Halloween?
Yeah, just in general, you can be a little depressing.
Why?
What did you just say?
I'm going to enjoy my last Halloween?
Yeah, that's depressing, dude.
Well, hey, man. I'll tell you what.
No. I'm not going to accept that. Sorry. No. I'm telling you, you're wrong right now. We're going to have other Halloweens. Life's going to continue on. These people everyone's standing up right now, and everyone's ready to fight.
I think you take it way too seriously when I say last Halloween.
I can't take things. It's hard for me to not be serious anymore. I know I love to joke. I love to have a good time, but the more I look into this and the more I understand the gravity of what is happening right now, all of us should be this aware, and we should know how serious it is. It's hard for me to just switch it from this is really serious civil war. People are trying to bring down America, and then like crack jokes. It's not easy for me to do that anymore because
I'll say it right back, man. That's depressing.
Okay, maybe it is.
If I make a joke about the last Halloween because November 4th is going to be the day of chaos.
Yeah,
I'm not literally saying Halloween will never happen again.
Well, I'm just telling you how I feel, man.
It's just exaggeration about the severity of what's to come.
Right. Okay.
And it is. And you know what, man? Like, when I look around at this country and the talk of the silent majority, I cross my fingers. But it's funny how the left has this view of Trump supporters as these, like, the meme is the guy in the Rascal with his belly hanging out and he's got 2 full auto guns and like nachos in front of him and he says America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we had even a handful of those guys who loved America so much they gorged themselves and drove around with guns and a Rascal. It doesn't exist. You've got a bunch of chill people who want to live their life, work hard, feed their family, do their thing.
Yep.
They love and respect this country for what it is, but they are not going out screaming America at the top of their lungs with full auto guns.
No, they're researching laws, researching how to get into the government and actually make an actual change and not screeching and throwing bombs at a courthouse. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people actually going out and working towards making a difference legally. And that's the silent majority you're talking about.
And that's why they're losing. Ben Shapiro said that trying to get I'm going to paraphrase him, so hopefully I'm getting it right, but he said something akin to trying to win a political victory while they've taken over the cultural institutions is rearranging the chairs on the Titanic. And I completely agree.
Okay.
Breitbart said it a decade ago. You know, he's the one who said it, right? Politics is downstream from culture.
Yeah.
And so you look at what the left has done consistently. Barack Obama was a celebrity. They loved that guy, big old charismatic smile on his face. Well, he enacted the NDAA and indefinite detention provisions and did all these horrible things.
Yes, he did.
And he got away with it because he was part of the dominant cultural institutions. So now you have Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and we're lucky to be on these platforms.
You're right. And I'm glad we were able to be here so I can actually give my views out there. I mean, just this morning, I woke up and someone tagged me. They're like, yo, Tim's video about all these leftists going to the right, running to MAGA, and the Democrats are freaking out, was trending. In gaming.
It's so weird.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not weird.
Trending in gaming.
No, it's not weird because the gaming industry itself has been infected by SJWs. I'm a gamer, I know.
Yeah.
Many gamers are fed up with it. They're like Red Bull, like for example, it's like Red Bull sells sugar drinks. Why should it matter what they're they're it's like that's all it is. It's like gamers want to go to a game and escape. So the fact that they're not even allowed to escape in their games means it's not working anymore.
And this started about 7 years ago.
So
Gamergate was the first battle of the cultural civil war.
Well, it makes sense because they're the younger generation that you're saying politics is downhill from culture. Well, that culture has been attacked for so long now that they think that they have all the new generation on their side. Well, that is not true. It's not.
Well, so this is why you're dangerous.
Sure, that's because people have said it to me. Whatever, I'm not going to stop talking.
I didn't say you should.
Right, I won't.
So we were talking about this earlier, and I was like, I'll be as flattering as possible. You've got Adam Krigler, who's male model, pro skateboarding rock star, who all of a sudden now is coming out and being like, "Go Trump." But you you develop all of these important cultural things.
Yeah.
The idea of like a pro skateboarding rock star, that's like what every kid wanted to be 20, 30 years ago, It was like, being a famous musician and being a pro skater, all these things, right? And so that's culture. Conservatives went for the political victory, but like Ben Shapiro said, rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Right.
So they won, congratulations. In 2016, they controlled all branches of the government. They then lost it in 2018.
Well, I mean, we talked about it though. They locked him down. They froze it all, so they couldn't do anything.
But it's because they controlled the newspapers.
That's true.
They controlled the movies, the TV shows.
And a lot of people are now realizing because of COVID, they don't have jobs. A lot of people are stuck at home. They can't go out. There's no sports. What are they doing? They're watching the mainstream media, listening to the president speak, going back and cross-checking themselves now.
That's true.
And seeing what are they talking about now, instead of having to the few people defend him, like, oh, you're going to make me defend Trump. Now everyone's like, oh yeah, okay, you don't have to anymore because I can see for myself. People are seeing for themselves.
When Trump was doing daily press briefings, his approval numbers were higher in the aggregate than they have ever been.
And why do you think he's going to start doing it again?
He's going to start them up again.
Exactly.
But they're not going to cover it. They accuse him of lying and all that stuff. So anyway, the ultimate point is Republicans and conservatives need to be fighting on the cultural front. And they started doing that with memes on the internet. And then the left, which controls the platforms with which this communication happens, nuked every single one of them.
That's correct.
Just they were like, purge. And so here's what happens with the best example, I believe, is probably the Donald.
Yep.
There was a study done by, I think it was MIT Review, that found that 4chan and the Donald were the progenitors of the most prolific memes on the internet. Seriously, just all the jokes, everything you would see came from 4chan or the Donald. So what do? They accuse the Donald of all this wrongdoing, of all this manipulation, and maybe some of it's true. I don't know. I didn't investigate it, so I'm not going to pretend like I did.
Okay.
But they then quarantined the Donald under false pretenses. They were threatening police, they said. You think the Blue Lives Matter people were threatening the cops?
Not in the slightest.
That's insane.
I agree.
And so what a lot of people at the Donald thought was that you get some far leftists who invade, post these things, and then before they can even realize they exist, the admins go, look at this, you should have got rid of it. Quarantined. So they created their own website, thedonald.win, which is now probably one of the biggest pro-Trump forums, considering the Donald itself has been banned permanently.
Yep.
They were gone for 4 months. For 4 months, the Reddit, the Donald, was inactive. And then the CEO comes out and says, we're banning all these subreddits, including the Donald. because they broke the rules. But no one had posted for 4 months. It was locked down, which means they retroactively applied new rules to an old forum.
Yep.
Which shows there's literally nothing you can do. They snap their fingers and they nuke you. Now what's going on? DDoS attacks against the Donald.win. They're making it, you can try and pull up the website periodically and it won't work.
Wow.
You can't open it because a denial of service attack is slamming into it. So they're trying really hard to shut them down.
Yep.
And now that they can't control them directly because they've created their own website, people are going after them indirectly. So I'll tell you what, man, I'm surprised we're still lucky enough to be able to speak, but I think it's because we follow the rules. You know, we're not overly bombastic. We don't insult, we don't swear, we play it very, very safe, and it makes it very difficult, but they're going to try, man.
Yep.
They're going to start snipping up bits and out of context. They're going to start pulling up your old posts and trying to figure out anything they can get from you that's ever been offensive, whatever. Find a way to get rid of the things we're talking about because they have to purge the ideas.
Yep.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.